It's recording now.
Is it?
Hi, Riyadh.
Hiya.
Hello.
Is that nice? Look at that red light in there, the camera.
Camera? Oh, very good.
It wasn't so much that I realised that I was gay. It was more that I realised that I was different. So I didn't really understand what gay was. Gay was just sort of something that people called things that they didn't like. So I was sort of confused.
You gonna blow the candles?
Riyadh is about to turn 18 and is in his final year of secondary school. The son of an Iraqi father and an Irish mother, he lives in County Wicklow.
When I first realised that I was different, I was in late 6th class, early 1st year. Didn't really know exactly how I was different, but I knew that I definitely wasn't like the other guys in my year. And then, slowly but surely, I started to realise why I was different. I kind of noticed myself looking more at boys rather than girls.
How are you? Oh my god, look how many there is. Wow, hi. Oh, sorry.
I told 3 of my very close girlfriends one day in school, and they took it amazingly well.
Oh my god, you legend.
For ages, we were walking around the yard, and it was so hard. I couldn't even make my mouth make the words that I wanted to say. I wanted to say, you know, girls, I am, and it just wouldn't come out. But anyway, eventually I got it out, and they were unbelievably happy for me, and that kind of gave me a kind of a spur to keep going. And I like the feeling of each time I told someone, it was like a weight off my shoulder, a weight off my shoulder, a weight off my shoulder.
Happy birthday to you. Oh my god, I know.
I guess my mum and dad had an idea that I was gay, but probably not ready to come out. I sort of covered up a lot of my tendencies, you know, but you can't do that forever. You can't put on an act in your own home. It just won't happen.
Take a picture. That's lovely.
Zoe is 15 and has just collected the results of her junior cert exams.
When I was 8, I started attracted to girls, and I didn't even know what gay was. I was completely confused. Like, I was going out with loads of other different young fellas, and I didn't like it one bit. Like, even holding their hand, I didn't even like it. Like, it was just awkward with young fella. I was like, get away from me. I do like young fellas. I love fellas. They're amazing people and stuff like that. Like, but girls are just my thing. When I was 12, I started to fall in love with my best friend, and I was constantly with her. I was really kind of confused. I was like, I can't do this because it's a girl and, like, it's not right and stuff like that. But then I couldn't hold it in any longer, and I told her, and then she said that, well, you're obviously gay. Just didn't want anyone knowing because all my friends were straight, and they kind of would abuse gay people, kind of saying that it's wrong, and I'm just kind of in the corner going, yeah, it is kind of wrong, like, lying through my teeth. But really, I was actually gay inside. I thought it was odd, that's why I didn't, like, tell anyone, because I could ruin my whole life if I came out. I thought my friends would never speak to me again, and I thought my mother and father would kick me out.
I wish I brought a fake tan.
You need to put on fake tan?
Just for my legs, because they're all like...
I kind of always knew that, like, I was bisexual because I know I'd feel attraction to both, and, like, I'd feel kind of the same towards a man and a woman. And I guess it was probably about the age of, like, 11 or 12. I would look at girls and and be like, oh, they're quite cute, and you know, like, you know, kind of feeling that I want to kiss them and all. I think at the start I felt strange. I felt really, really confused. I was like always kind of going back and from between men and women, and like I just feel really weird, and I was just like, oh, I wish I could just, you know, just be one or the other. I was very, very shy. Like I barely talked to anybody, and there was one girl that I used to hang out with a lot, and we did one time kiss. It was really like strange that I enjoyed it as much as I was if I was kissing a boy, because like the first time I kissed a boy was about 13, 14, and it was strange how much like equally I liked it, you know, and like I just wanted to do it again and again. Because sometimes people find it easier to go to bi, like to turn bi first and then go on to like coming out as homosexual. But for me, it's like I'll always be attracted to both men and women. It's been that way ever since I came out, so I don't see it changing.
And now we can do the eyebrows.
I think I realised when I might have been about 12, and I tried to deny it because I thought it was something to be ashamed of. It was a pretty lonely time. You know, you constantly feel like you're different. There's a lot of guilt associated with it. You feel like, you know, you're letting down your parents, kind of, because, you know, you're not going to give them grandchildren and all the rest. And I think eventually then you just have to kind of come to the conclusion that it's nothing I can change. And then I think from then on, it's just removing the guilt in general.
When Jamie was 10, his father Jimmy died. He now lives with his mother Debbie in County Dublin.
I told a few people, then kind of came out to more and more people, and then eventually my mother, which I did in the worst way, because I emailed her because I couldn't stand to say it to her face.
On it was lovely, actually. It was, at the time, he said, I have something to tell you, and maybe it will explain to you why sometimes I've been hard to live with. He said, but I'm something beginning with G and ending in Y. And he said, but at the end of the day, I'm still the lovable son that you always thought you had. I am still that son, and I just hope that my father would be proud of me. I just grabbed him and I hugged him. And I told him it didn't matter what he was, once he was happy and healthy. That's all that I cared about. It was the beginning of Jamie's life, I really think. You know, it just took any fears that he had about his sexuality away, and he felt he could be himself then.
Patrick is 16 and lives with his father in inner city Dublin.
I was very young. I was around 7 or 8, even when I just started, like, just thinking, I don't really like girls. Just that everyone else seemed to like girls, and I think I was the only one who just used to be like, no, I don't care. But saying that, I didn't really like boys either at that stage. I was too young.
We were walking down Mead Street one day, and I said, look, I'm going to have a proper chat with you. And he says, yeah. And I said, son, are you gay? And to me, I thought, when he told me, which I expected he was, and I have no problem with it, I thought he felt a bit off at me. He's like trying to tell me. I think he wanted to wait for the right moment, but unfortunately I got there before him. He did want to wait for the right moment, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I knew all along.
It wasn't anything I was expecting him to ask you, but he just asked, and I was like, it took me a minute to think about it, and then I was like, yeah. And like, I just answered straightforward. I just thought it was the best.
Well, I personally have told all my mates, And all my family know that Patrick's gay, and all my best friends know he's gay. And, like, I'm not ashamed of it. I'll tell anybody. That's my son, yeah, right. And I say, look, my son is gay. And I'm proud of him. I'm happy. I am very nervous because nowhere's safe. Nowhere. Not even Dublin, Galway, Limerick. Nowhere safe. But as long as I'm around, he will be safe. And I'll make sure of that.
Well, I first told my younger sister. At first, she was a little strange about it. But, like, me and her were really, like, you know, close, so she kind of accepted it. But she still, to this day, finds it weird when I kiss a girl or anything because, you know, to her, she's, like, really, really, you know, she's, like, a girly girl and she's really, like, straight,
My first thought was, I hope it doesn't change our relationship. But that was really it, like, you know. Kind of got her to explain to me, like, how she felt and stuff.
Yeah, I told Dad. Really?
I just explained to her that that I was attracted to women as well, and it could mean that I could have a relationship with a woman. I would hold back a little when I'm talking about relationships I've been in with, like, women. And it is kind of hard for me because, like, I wish in a way that she was bisexual too so she could understand, but, you know, we still have a really strong relationship despite that anyway, and I've always got, you know, other friends I can talk to about it anyway. If I was straight, I don't know if I'd be as close. You know, we might be more competitive against each other if I was straight, because she knows I have a girlfriend, so she's like, oh, then I get to flirt with old boys. Yeah, but no, actually I prefer when you don't have a girlfriend because then you can flirt with guys with me.
Oh, okay. Well then, no. She was the first person I told, and I was really skeptical about telling anybody because I think that they think that I was weird or something, and, you know, like, I felt like I would be, like, the black sheep of the family, and especially since, you know, I have a kind of Jewish background as well, that, you know, I wouldn't be accepted by my religion for, you know, the people I'd like.
Coming out can be a difficult time for many young people, and Riyadh was particularly nervous about telling his dad that he was gay.
Yeah, they're lovely, aren't they? But that's what we had last year.
Obviously, I knew my dad was from a very conservative background, so I was in the dark as to what was going to happen to me after I came out. Every day, you had that fear, you know, that someone that knew that you were gay might blurt it out by accident to your dad, whether it be a friend of yours or someone who found out, you know, from someone.
Oh, yeah, the one here, look in front of you. Is that not all right, is it? No.
That one?
Yeah.
It's way too tall.
Is it?
Oh, that one?
Yeah, look.
You want to get one with loads of branches on it.
Yeah.
That one's a bit...
Riyadh had been out to his mum for 9 months before he came out to Sam.
We had a big fight, and we were in the kitchen, and my mum said, Riyadh, I think it's time for you to tell your dad something. So I was like, oh my God, is this actually happening? Is this about to happen? So I was like there, my head on my hands, on the counter thinking, okay, Riyadh, say the words, you know. But I couldn't.
Oh, that looks nice, isn't it?
Kind of weird on top.
Yeah. Mum would like that.
I like it. Right? I took one of my books that was on the counter and I tore a bit of the corner out of it. And I wrote it on it, I'm gay. And I just put my hand on it and I just thought, I just slid it across the table to him. And then I looked away and then there was a pause. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, oh God, he knows now. Oh my God. Like, this is the end of 4 years, all in 2 seconds.
I had a little bit of idea. But it doesn't matter what idea you have. It's when you when a son come and tell his dad that it's a bit shock, disappointment, you could call it.
He just started shouting and he couldn't understand it, and there was tears from all three of us, and I was trying to get his attention, but he was like in a different place, you know, shouting his opinions like, I can't believe it, why are you gay?
Sasha!
He was just so worried about what other people will think, you know, what people at home will think, what family on his side over here will think, and he was just in bits, like really, really, really bad, like terrible.
Hey, Sasha. Come on, girl.
A couple of days after, he had simmered down and he was sort of okay. We were talking, but I could sense that it was if he was talking to someone different, and that's not what I wanted to happen. I wanted him to be able to talk to me the same way, like I was still his son, and it really hurt that I could see in his eyes that he was talking to Riyadh, who's gay, not Riyadh, his son.
This is the end of a difficult year for Riyadh. As well as studying for the Leaving Cert, he has also had to deal with tensions at home as his father struggled to come to terms with Riyadh's sexuality.
Well, that's the longest wait ever.
I passed everything.
You did not.
No.
Are you serious?
I passed Irish and I passed maths. Guess what I got? Wait. Guess what I got in physics?
I had my little techniques, which were not talking about it.
Oh my God.
After a while, it just got to the point where we'd be making little jokes about my sexuality. Stupid jokes, but it just meant that he was fine with it. The fact that he could joke about it.
You kept it so quiet, didn't you?
Kept what so quiet?
That you did very well.
I didn't know I was doing very well.
You must have.
I kept saying, oh, I don't think I passed this, I don't think I passed that.
I really didn't think I passed, but I only just passed.
Well done. The world's your oyster.
Better go get a job.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right, my son. Come inside, have a cup of coffee.
You look, and then you look at your son and you're saying, look, I have a good kid, so, you know, I'm happy. I don't have to worry about him. He's too smart to be worried. He'll probably worry about me.
It was about fourth year when Riyadh first came out, because there was whispers like, oh, he's bi, blah blah blah, and there was things, but no one really was 100%. And then remember on the bus on the way home, he goes, I have something to tell you. And I was like, oh God, what did I do? What did I do? You know, you automatically think that. And then he told me on the bus, and then I was kind of like, oh right. And he goes, did you know already? And I was like, I had a clue.
It was nice to know, like, he trusted us enough to tell us first. I don't know, it didn't really change anything. I wasn't surprised or anything, and I was just happy for him, because like once he started coming out to people, he just got a lot more confident. You could tell he was just happier now.
Yeah, and he changed. Like he was just so much more confident, and he didn't feel awkward. Like, and there was a bit of, you know, when the guys, like, you know, the rugby lads they'd first found out, and there was a bit of like, oh, you know, don't get changed in front of him. You know, it's just, you know, immature kind of things. But I think as we went on in school together, we came back after fourth year, and people were it was just different. It was lovely, and it was nice for him because he started, you know, being able to just talk about things better. And he said that he used to have to lie all the time, and it affected him. And when he went out, it was really awkward, and now he goes out and he has more fun than we do. Like, it's great. It's just like a normal friendship, but closer, because he trusted us first, so kind of it strengthened the relationship, and we're like best friends, honestly.
Remember, because at the end of the day, it's...
I remember him saying he was bisexual. I remember him saying that. I was like, I kind of knew a little bit, so I was kind of like, yeah, that's fair enough. And
sort of suspected it just
before. And then slowly kind of changed into just being gay. Because at nights out, if he kissed a girl or whatever, he'd kind of be like, oh man, wish that wasn't a girl, hadn't been a girl. If you're brought up to see it as a bad thing, which I'm sure some people are, but I wasn't really in.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, so.
Throw that one out there.
I think, yeah, a lot of guys would think, yeah, oh, he's gay, obviously he fancies me, but they're kind of more egotistic people. Yeah.
Don't lift your feet.
Yeah, so.
That's it. Good. You ready, guys?
Zoe's friend Natasha is 16 years old and is also in 5th year. She has recently come out at school.
To know that I wasn't really the only one in 5th year who was gay was a really big relief. But we always get the people who are like, oh, you and Zoe make such a great couple. It's just because we're gay. we don't automatically, because someone's gay, the other person's gay, go out together. But yeah, it was a big relief. It started circulating that I was gay. She kind of approached me and, you know, she was kind of like, oh, why didn't you tell me before? Like, you know, I was kind of like, well, I knew you were gay, but it'd be kind of weird just walking up to you and going, hey, I'm a lesbian too, you know, we should all be friends. So, yeah, that's how I met her.
How's that? Yeah, I like it like that. You prefer it like that, don't you? Yeah.
Over different ages, like, do you like it?
Yeah, I think it's lovely.
It's awesome, it's lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Oh, Lord, have you seen your hair?
So cute.
My first girl kiss was when I was 14. I was with a group of friends one day in a park in the summer, and I met a girl there that I thought was cute, and I kissed her. That was it. And when you aren't sure if you're gay or not, and then you finally get to kiss someone of the same sex, that kind of clears it up. I mean, if you're a gay guy and you're kissing girls and you don't feel anything, and then suddenly you kiss a guy and you feel a spark, that's a sign. And if you're a gay girl that's kissing guys, and then you kiss a girl and there's a spark, and there hasn't been a spark with guys, then that's a sign. That's the clearest sign you can get, I think. First year, by wearing this in school and at home, so that I didn't have to. My girlfriend and I have been together for a year and a half. We had known each other for a while. So in first year, halfway through, and we had our first dance to Macarena. Yeah, and our first kiss in the smoking area of the George. Not very romantic, but these things happen. And we're still together, very happy, yeah.
Siobhan's girlfriend has not yet come out to her family.
This is my first serious relationship, so I don't really have any other ones to base it on. It does put a strain on the relationship sometimes, more for her, I think, because she struggles with it, because obviously I'm out and she's a huge part of my family. Obviously, because I had such an easy coming out, it's very difficult for me to know what it's going to be like for her to come out. She is partially out. I know her sisters, I know her friends. She's just not out to her parents, but I suppose because she doesn't live at home, it's not a huge issue.
Riyadh has been out to friends since he was 15. Though he has had some romantic experiences, he has never been on a proper date before.
My first ever crush in school, ever. no, I'm not going to name him, was this guy in my year, and he is just very, very, very good looking. Like, he's just stereotypically perfect. You know, he's got this sort of surferish look about him, sort of sallow skin and dark sort of spiky hair. Oh, beautiful. Very, very beautiful.
This Chihuahua of all things, okay? And I call it Jane.
I always had the feeling like I'd love to, you know, touch a boy. You know, I'd love to just touch a boy, you know. And when I looked at him, I was like, God, he looks like he's very touchable. Do you know what I mean? So he definitely put my mind into perspective. Like, that is what I want. Not those yolks over there with those things on their chest. Not that.
You have an hour to make it and then we'll get out. Right. Like, this is, to be honest, this is my first proper sit down, have a meal sort of date. And, you know, I really like it. It's exactly what you'd see in a movie, you know. It's very, very, very cute. And I've enjoyed it. Procrastination just... Even though it is crap.
My current relationship, I've been together with the girl for the past 9 months. And, you know, we have our ups and downs like every relationship. But it's like, it's strange because out of all the relationships I've ever had, it's the first normal relationship I've had. It's just like, you know, we do like little coupley things, you know, we kind of finish each other's sentences and like, you know, we get little things for each other, you know, like I make her food and she makes me food, and, you know, we kind of look after each other and, you know, care for each other, and it just seems so natural, even though to people that view it, it might seem strange, but when we're together, it just feels so right. And it just kind of, I just look at her sometimes, it's like, you're a girl. How could this be right, you know? Because usually I'd get on with guys better. And like, she's the first girl that I've actually been able to connect with properly. And it's going really well.
Oh, I wish I was in Dublin. It was a month yesterday with her.
Natasha has recently started going out with her close friend Grace, who lives in Dublin.
When I was younger, I dreamed about getting married and having kids and having the whole, like, suburb house and, you know, the car and the dog and the husband who'd go off to work. And, you know, I thought about that when I was small. I had the kitchens and everything. Like, had baby borns. I was one of them. Like, I just wanted that when I grew up. And then when I did grow up, I realized that I had no attraction to any guys whatsoever. Even this one young fellow who told me that he was in love with me, I just couldn't do it. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And, you know, I thought that, like, you know, I thought that I had no emotion for it at all. And I was just so angry that I couldn't have that. But then I realized that when I did realize who I am, I can have that. I have it with a woman instead of a man. I can have the babies, I can have the house, and I can have the dog and the car, and I can have all of that.
I miss her when she's not around. You know, when it's like a really sunny day out, and wish I could just have her here. We'd go down in the park or something, do something. Just chilled. You know, she's a quite chilled, laid-back kind of person. You know, she's my kind of person. I guess that's why I love her.
most LGBT young people do well, and their experiences don't have extremely negative impact on their health or mental health. I mean, most go on to do absolutely fine. But where it's really risky is where young people are experiencing this harassment and bullying in school, and actually puts them at mental health risk. We've worked with young people who have been attacked in school. We've worked with young people who have had limbs broken while in school. We've worked with young people who have been bullied so bad that they've left school and won't return again. But more commonly, it's not physical. It's much more psychological than that. It's constant name calling. It's graffiti. It's I mean, the homophobic language is just so common amongst young people. It's kind of hard to avoid. It's everywhere.
People who clearly didn't, like the fact that I was gay or like me as a person. There was a period where the pillar outside in the garden, one was pushed over and smashed, the other had fag carved into it. The house would be egged, stones would be thrown at the house, purely aimed at my direction. And it was definitely a hard time for my mum. She didn't blame me, of course, but I still felt really, really guilty at the fact that, like I said, she'd put all this money together to get her home, do it up, and they were just undoing it just out of spite and hatred and probably boredom as well. Even just walking up the road and someone ran over and just punched me in the face, kind of. But, like, fair play to my brother, as much as me and him kill each other as well half the times. My brother ran right up the road and kind of, helped me out almost. But definitely there were kind of a couple of low points.
There was one time, it was the worst. There was these girls waiting for me. I had no idea who they were. I just walked down to the garage because I had to get a drink. They said, "Hey, you," and I just turned around and they said, "Yeah, you, faggot." And I just turned back around and I just kept walking, and they were like, "Why are you walking away from me? Are gays scared of being hit?" And I just turned to her and I said, "Everyone's scared of being hit, just leave me alone." And they kept following me and kept just like screaming, "Hey, faggot, look at us, come on, look at us, just look at us." And I just remember like turning around, they were after basically like running up behind me. They kicked my knee. They basically like kicked me in the stomach. They tore lumps out of my hair. Like there was literally like patches gone. And when I went to get back up, that's when the woman hit me in the face, and she had a really big ring, and it kind of gashed me there. And I didn't know what to do, because I didn't want to go home, because I was after getting two really bad beatings before this. I didn't want to go home again and like worry my mum to pieces. That was the lowest point.
Transgender is an umbrella term that we use to describe people whose gender identity or gender expression, so how they feel inside or how they express their gender, is different from the gender that or the sex that they were assigned at birth. So for some people, it can mean that they identify as male, but they were born female. And for some people, that might mean that they identify as female, but were born male.
Mark is 22. He came to Ireland with his parents from Eastern Europe when he was 16 years old. Although Mark was born female, he has always been unhappy living in a girl's body.
Ever since I was really young, I knew that I was different, that I just did not feel comfortable in my body. I was too afraid to tell my mom how I felt about Once we moved to Ireland, I had more chance of, finding out that actually there was such a thing as transgender, where to get information and all that. I'm really happy to be here because I sometimes think that had I stayed back home, I would have been on the street, completely unhappy. I do think that I've always behaved as a boy. There were a lot of people who just assumed I was a boy, which was very funny in a way because I heard what they said and it made me happy, and they did see me for who I really was. As much as I was trying to dress as a male, I still did not feel whole. I managed to get enough money to see a psychologist who diagnosed me with gender identity dysphoria.
Mark has been seeing clinical psychologist Dr. James Kelly, a specialist in gender identity, since he was 19.
The first time a patient comes to me, I try to assess what it is that they would like to see happen. And once we've kind of established that, that's usually in the first session, what the options are, and that kind of thing. Then we work towards what we call assessment and evaluation. So the assessment part has to do with whether they're meeting the diagnostic criteria for the condition. And we sort of evaluate what a transition might entail.
It's been really good, it's been fantastic.
Yeah, well, you seem very...
So transitioning is a term that people use when they're talking about moving from one gender to another gender.
Yes, they should be.
For a lot of people, the first step is just, talking through what they're feeling.
You're asking, am I doing the right thing?
And not everybody who comes in feeling like they have issues with their gender or issues with their body would necessarily be transgender. And so what we would do is we would try to support people to explore their own process and what makes most sense for them. And we would do that by referring people to counselors who are open and interested in talking people through that, and just not making an assumption that somebody is any one thing.
Mark is undergoing hormone replacement therapy to adjust his hormone levels to those of an average male. This treatment is taking place under the supervision of Dr. Donal O'Shea, a consultant endocrinologist at St. Columkille's Hospital in Loughlinstown.
The role of the endocrinologist is to make sure that the patient is safe to embark on the transition from male to female or female to male. So we have no role in the diagnosis, and we can't see a patient before the diagnosis has been made. So once the psychiatrist or psychologist have made the diagnosis, they're referred to us. How long are you on the testosterone treatment now?
I started in January last year, so that would be a year. Once you start taking hormones, your body changes incredibly. My voice started to break really quickly. I started to grow more body hair, and the bulk of my muscles would increase.
That is going...
It's still difficult for Mark. He is facing various obstacles, including changing his name and legal documents. But Mark remains positive about his future as a man.
One of the major issues that face trans young people is a sense of isolation. And if you're not able to express it and you don't feel safe or you don't feel like people will support you, you can feel very, very alone. So the first step for friends, other students, teachers, parents would be to offer their support, to really lend an ear, to listen very carefully to what people are saying, and not to try to put anything onto them, not to try to assume what they're saying. I think for a lot of people it can be a long process, and that what's really necessary is to have the options and have the space to explore that with support, to know that no matter what decisions that person makes, that they'll be supported, that they'll be respected, that they'll still be loved, that they'll be cared about, all of those things, that they won't lose friends, that they won't lose family. And once you have that space, that young person has the opportunity to really figure out what works best for them.
Right, so everyone, welcome to Belong To. Basically, the ground rules are here just so we can kind of get through. There's no hassle or anything like that.
Patrick is a member of Belong To, a support group for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender young people. He has been attending the organisation's weekly meetings for the past 2 years.
A bit disrespectful and I found it like, ring ring, you know what I mean.
It's just turned off now. Okay.
I was surprised how many people there were. You wouldn't think that there would be that many in Dublin either, like that many people who are LGBT, or especially my age as well.
Okay, so Gay Pride. Who went to Gay Pride anyways last year?
I did. I've been out here. Remember?
What?
I was dancing.
She's such a Yeah, this is the first year I actually didn't go in a costume or anything.
First and foremost, like any group, it's a fun group, it's a youth group, so it's about having fun and meeting up with friends and making friends. But I suppose what makes Belong To quite unique is that we place special emphasis on, I suppose, challenging some of the issues that we find that LGBT young people present with. So for many of the young people using our service, they mightn't necessarily be out to their parents, they mightn't necessarily be out in school, so we offer them advice and support around the possibility of coming out and support through that whole process.
The sixth one is no PDAs.
The bells are going like 90.
Yeah, no, we're okay, we're okay.
In Dublin, Patrick and the other members of Belong To are getting ready for Pride, a week-long festival celebrating the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender community, culminating in the annual Pride Parade.
Get everyone prepared and everything.
Is Pride important to you?
It's very important to everyone. It's important to like me and everyone else that comes to Belong To because it's the one day of the year that we can feel, we can be loud and proud, I suppose. Shit. It's fun, but it's a protest at the same time about the inequality that we kind of have, just as gay people and like lesbian, sexual, trans people. Like, we all have inequality, and that's what we're trying to tackle with Pride.
For some of the young people, this year is particularly exciting, as it will be their first time marching in the parade.
I know everyone doesn't like the Pride thing, gay or not, but whatever. I'll judge for myself when I go there tomorrow, see how it's like. Cool. I'm not dressing up mad or anything, I'm just wearing my nice dress, that's it. Can't wait.
I think it's not for everybody, that's all good, but I think for the young people it's for, yeah, it's a really big statement. It's just like, I am LGBT and this is me, here I am, you know, it's very unapologetic, which I think is really important. I think young people are asked to be apologetic about their sexuality kind of on a daily basis.
In the Belong To offices in Dublin, plans are underway for Ireland's first ever gay prom, a coming out party for lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender people aged 18 and over.
Like, we're gonna have to be suited and booted by 8 o'clock, you know? Basically, if you guys focus on the bunting, you guys focus on the cardboard action, and then between us we'll just do things at table settings because there's so many tables that's just endlessly boring. But between a lot of people we can do that really fast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So that's all I really wanted to say, and well done. You've ruined everything.
It's just earlocked. I had the strangest day. I've been like happy with excitement and then terrified and then nervous and then excited and then happy. At one stage I thought I was going to cry.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Siobhan's best friend Grace is helping her to make some final adjustments.
I don't have a date, which is kind of making me a little bit nervous, but it was a decision I made and I'm sticking with it. I'm going solo. I just have to hope people want to sit at a table with me. I was torn between wearing a dress or wearing a trouser, waistcoat, shirt outfit, but I've decided I'm going to wear a dress because it's actually the dress I wore to my own deb, so I'm being a little bit cheap in that, but I love it, and I'm not one for wearing dresses, and I thought, if I have a dress I love, why not wear it?
Oh, coffee cake!
Oh, the smell of stuff.
I think it's absolutely great for him now to be going, you know. It should be the norm that everybody has a right to go to their dabs and not be treated any different to anybody else. He'd have never gone to his own school's one, though, and be able to bring a boy with him. That would have been a no-no. I don't think he'd have even been allowed, you know. It's very hurtful, you know, because you love your child when you give birth to them. You don't change just because you find out they're gay. And besides, he's a great young fella, aren't you?
Thanks. Thanks.
Have a great night, chicken, and be safe.
I'm always safe. Always.
I think it's going to be a really fun, spectacular night. This has been in the pipeline for a long time now. From the early days of Belong To, one of the things anecdotally that we used to collect were reports from young people around their debs and how they just either would go to their debs and pretend to be straight, or how very commonly they just wouldn't go to their debs at all.
Initially, we were kind of saying it's for young adults, and then a lot of older people contacted us and we're kind of going, well, I'd like to go too. My debs was crap, or I didn't go, or whatever, you know. And then we're kind of going, like, actually, yeah, this is like a community experience. Like, so by putting this on, we're kind of saying, okay, no matter what age you are, if you had a bit of a crap debs, you know, you can come along to this prom and you'll get everything you wanted in a, you know, in a single go.
This is the prom I never went to. I was never in the party, and tonight I am at with you.
Although we talk about equality, it isn't real equality, you know? Until everybody is celebrated in the same way, until everybody's given the opportunity to, you know, to step into adulthood with an air of positivity around them, not an air of shame, then there isn't really equality there.
Thank you to all the staff of
We've come a long way, and it was a big fight to get here. And I think that the prom kind of represents, in a way, kind of passing of the torch. And it also marks this moment in time in their lives, you know, where they are the young adult gays in a modern Ireland.